Three Little Chicks and the Grumpy Cat Who Turned Out to Be Kind. Once upon a time, on a sunny farm, lived 3 little chicks. Sol was as bright as a lemon, Zinnia was a soft shade of pink, and Cobalt was the color of the deep evening sky. They loved to play near the big red barn where the grass was sweet and the sun felt warm on their feathers. One afternoon, a shimmering blue butterfly fluttered past the barn. "Look," chirped Zinnia. "Let's see where it goes." She and Cobalt began to run, following the dancing wings. They didn't notice the fence getting further and further away as they chased the butterfly toward the tall woods. Suddenly, the butterfly disappeared. Sol and Cobalt looked around and realized they were deep in the tall grass. The barn was gone, and the trees looked like giants. "I think we are lost," Cobalt whispered. The 3 chicks huddled together, feeling very small in the big, quiet woods. A low growl came from the shadows. Out stepped a large gray cat named Tiberius. He had a very grumpy face, a tattered ear, and eyes that looked like narrow yellow slits. Sol trembled as the big cat walked toward them. Tiberius looked very scary indeed. "What are you doing here?" Tiberius grumbled. His voice was deep and scratchy. Zinnia and Cobalt hid behind a mushroom, too scared to make a sound. They were sure the grumpy cat was going to gobble them up right then and there. But Tiberius wasn't looking at the chicks anymore. He froze, his ears twitching. He sensed something moving in the bushes, something much bigger and hungrier than a cat. Tiberius stood tall, his fur puffing up until he looked twice his size. A sneaky fox jumped out from the shadows. Before the fox could reach the chicks, Tiberius leapt forward. He stood right in front of Sol, acting as a furry shield. The grumpy cat wasn't acting grumpy anymore. He was acting like a hero. Tiberius let out a mighty, thunderous meow that shook the leaves on the trees. The fox was so startled by the cat's bravery that it turned around and ran away as fast as its legs could carry it. Zinnia watched from the grass, her little heart thumping with wonder. Tiberius turned back to the chicks. His face was still a bit grumpy, but his eyes were kind. "Follow me," he said softly. He used his long, fluffy tail to gently nudge Cobalt and the others back toward the path that led to the farm. When they reached the barnyard, the chicks realized they had a new best friend. Tiberius lay down in the sun, and Sol hopped right onto his head. The grumpy cat just purred. They learned that sometimes the scariest-looking faces belong to the kindest hearts.